Ahmed was a quiet, diligent, and honest worker. He had joined the company several years ago and had built a reputation for his hard work and integrity. Every day he arrived early, organized his tasks meticulously, and always stayed late if needed. Colleagues admired his dedication, but not everyone appreciated it. His immediate supervisor, Salim, was the exact opposite of Ahmed. Arrogant, hot-tempered, and egotistical, Salim loved showing authority. He was never satisfied with anyone's work and took pleasure in humiliating his subordinates. From the beginning, Ahmed became the main target of Salim's temper. It started with small things. Salim would criticize Ahmed for minor mistakes, even when they were unintentional. Sometimes he would openly compare Ahmed to other workers, calling him slow or incompetent. Over time, Salim's behavior grew worse. He would shout at Ahmed during team meetings, often using insulting words, and sometimes even mocked his ideas in front of senior staff. Ahmed tried to remain patient. He believed in focusing on his work and hoped that his consistent performance would eventually be noticed. But Salim seemed to enjoy making him feel small. The constant stress began affecting Ahmed's confidence, and he often went home exhausted and demoralized. One day, Ahmed was assigned a complex project with a tight deadline. He worked late into the night to ensure everything was perfect. The next morning, while reviewing the report, he noticed a tiny typo in one of the numbers, a mistake anyone could make. But when he submitted the report, Salim noticed the typo and completely lost his temper. "Ahmed, how many times have I told you to be careful? This is unacceptable. Are you even capable of doing your job?" Salim shouted in front of the entire team. He went further, hurling offensive words that made Ahmed feel humiliated and helpless. Everyone was silent, no one dared to speak. Ahmed went home that day feeling crushed. He sat alone, reflecting on the months of mistreatment. "I have tolerated enough," he thought. "I cannot let this continue. I deserve respect, and so does every worker here." The next morning, Ahmed walked into the manager, Mr. Farouk's office. He was nervous but determined. He calmly explained the entire situation, from Salim's constant criticism to the verbal abuse. He even mentioned how other team members had witnessed the behavior but feared speaking up. Mr. Farouk listened carefully, taking notes. His expression was serious, but Ahmed could see a spark of understanding in his eyes. "Ahmed," he said, "thank you for your honesty. This is a serious matter, and I promise to look into it immediately." Over the next few days, an investigation was conducted. Mr. Farouk spoke to other employees, reviewed emails, and even observed the work environment. Soon, it became clear that Salim's behavior had created a toxic atmosphere. Several employees admitted that they had been afraid to report him, but had silently endured his harsh treatment. Finally, Mr. Farouk called a team meeting. Everyone gathered, curious and tense. Salim walked in, arrogant as ever, assuming he would face no consequences, but Mr. Farouk's voice cut through the room. "Salim, your behavior towards your team has been completely unacceptable. You have harassed your subordinates, humiliated them, and created a hostile work environment. This company has zero tolerance for such conduct. Effective immediately, you are terminated." Salim was stunned. His face turned pale and he stammered, trying to defend himself. But the decision was final. Security escorted him out of the office, and the room fell silent for a moment before everyone erupted in murmurs and whispers. Then Mr. Farouk turned to Ahmed and smiled. "Ahmed, your courage and integrity are commendable. You spoke the truth when others were silent. You have always been a hard worker and a leader in spirit. From today, you are promoted to supervisor. Lead with fairness and respect, just as you deserve." Tears filled Ahmed's eyes. He had gone from being a harassed worker to a respected leader, and all his struggles had finally borne fruit. His colleagues congratulated him warmly, and a new sense of hope and morale filled the office. As a supervisor, Ahmed made it his mission to ensure no worker ever felt the humiliation he had endured. He listened patiently, encouraged ideas, guided new employees, and maintained a positive work environment. Under his leadership, the team flourished. Productivity increased, and the workplace became a place of respect and collaboration. Ahmed often reflected on the journey. The road had been tough and the emotional toll had been heavy, but he had learned important lessons. Courage is stronger than fear, patience has limits, and honesty and integrity always win in the end. And so, Ahmed's story became an inspiration for the whole company. A shining example of how standing up against injustice can lead not just to personal success, but also to transforming an entire environment for the better.